People kept telling me this one thing on my van looked too janky. And honestly, I didn't care at first. But when you live in a van, the way your home looks from the outside can literally make you a target. I covered this in a previous video about how they're criminalizing van life. But I never thought this little patch job would attract so much attention from strangers, rangers, and even police. So today, I'm fixing it. And trust me, it's not just for looks. This isn't just a van mod, it's survival. I picked up a sander today so that I could finish my door and make it white instead of the wood that it is now, because everybody on YouTube says that it looks ghetto as basically. So I'm gonna fix it. This chunk of wood has been on my van door since I bought it. Someone had backed into the door, busting the glass, and the previous owner just stuck some wood over it to protect it. I kept putting off fixing it. It worked fine for me, but the reality is, when your home looks patched together, you stick out like a sore thumb. You look like you don't belong. And that's exactly the kind of thing that gets the cops knocking. The crazy part is some of you even commented about it. You saw it before I even noticed it. So yes, it was finally time to do something about it. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna sand it down, smooth it out, and then we're gonna cut the wood so it fits the window better. And then we're gonna paint it and then seal it so it blends right in. It sounds simple, but this job, it's way trickier than it looks. So what makes it so tricky? Well, when you live in a van, you don't exactly have a driveway or a garage to do any repairs or modifications on it. And that means you've got to do it wherever you can. And in this case, I'm doing it at a free campsite in Idaho along the Snake River. Sparrow and I spent about 4 days here, enjoying the peace and quiet and watching the fishermen. We cooled off in the river. I caught up on some work. I looked at rocks in the river. And Sparrow stayed fascinated, watching the boats going by. But the best part by far was watching the wildlife. I'm just eating some breakfast. And we have a visitor. A young eagle joined us for breakfast. But I don't think Sparrow was ready to share my attention with it. And a great big bull moose feasted along the opposite banks of the river. And was completely unfazed by the boats going by. It was exactly the break that we needed. There's pretty houses over there, huh? Look at that one, it's all windows. That one's like a log cabin. This one's really cool. Look at that deck, man. What? Pretty. If I don't share all these beautiful moments amidst the drama and projects of van life, then I'm missing the point. There's some really nice houses over there. And I'm sure they just heard my sander. And maybe they'll call the National Forest Service or the cops on me. I don't know. But I would think that would be ironic if they did. And the only reason for that is just because it's a nice house, and I'm sure it just them off that their view is ruined by a big white van camping. That's whatever, that's that. The irony of it is that this river has had the loudest boats, jet skis, motorboats coming up and down it like the whole time we've been here. And it's not a big deal. I don't mind because I kind of expected it. It would be ironic if they called on me for running a sander, which is like minimal sound compared to what the boats and the traffic is making over there. Hopefully they don't, so fingers crossed, but we're gonna keep going with the project. Now that this is all sanded and smooth, she feels nice. She doesn't look nice, but she feels nice, and that's what matters, so that the paint looks smooth on it. I do have some 2-in-1, it's like primer and white paint for this. It's Krylon. I'll show you guys that in a minute. And then I also have a sealer, like a clear sealant for it. And then I think I'm also gonna put Eternabond around the edges of this wood. But I was also thinking of taking the jigsaw, I have a jigsaw, and just cutting out this little thing so it looked a little bit more uniform and so that Sparrow had better view. And then I have a sticker down here that needs to be removed anyway. Let's see what we can do. After a little bit more research, I've decided not to use the jigsaw because, you know, if it catches on any knots in the wood or anything, or like a screw or something, it's gonna, sometimes it can bounce and it can kick. You can't really adjust the blade as far as like how far down it's gonna go. So we're gonna put the jigsaw back and we're gonna use the multi-tool. It's locked right now. I don't know how to unlock it. Interesting. Okay, it's unlocked, I guess. Button doesn't really work. Anyway, we're gonna go slow. I'm gonna mark, it's trigger happy. I almost just cut my finger off. I'm gonna mark the blade to the depth of the plywood so that if I cut to that line, I know I'm not gonna hit the glass. But I'm also gonna put something between the wood and the glass to protect the glass. You're probably thinking, why don't I take the wood off in order to do this cut? But the way that that wood is drilled in requires basically replacing that door, but I can't do that right now. It's not possible. I certainly can't do it myself, and I don't know anyone who can do it, but it's a whole process. The previous owner just drilled the wood into the glass because the glass underneath is broken. Someone backed into it. The wood is actually protecting that area. It's protected on the inside as well with insulation and stuff, and I'm gonna put something over that soon, but that's why the wood is there. The wood needs to be there, and there's no way to fix the door right now unless we go replacing it, and I could not find, this exact door is not a double opening bus door. It's a single door, it's smaller, it's difficult to find. So but we're gonna do it scrappy. We're gonna do how we do with the multi-tool and plunge cut, but I'm gonna put something back there to protect the glass. We're gonna go digging in my toolbox. I have this like tool shed back here in my garage, and we're gonna go searching through here to see if we have like a putty knife or something. I think I actually might over there in that bin right there. And then we're gonna use that as like some kind of metal guide so that the blade will hit the metal before it hits the glass. Okay. I found my old license plate for my truck. Yes, I have not sold my truck. It's sitting in storage. If you're interested in buying a truck, she's cheap. She's high miles, but she's a good truck. A Ford F-350, a 2006. Anyway, this is gonna be perfect to use as a guard. It'll fit right in there, and I'll know as soon as I hit it because it'll make noise and it won't go through here. It's a little bit more protective than air, so here we go. So you can see there's like a big gap here, and I can pull this away from the glass. I just wanna have something protecting this area when I cut. So I'm gonna hold this while I cut, but I'm also gonna mark that blade so that I don't plunge too deep. So this is like 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm just gonna hold this blade up against here and make sure I measure that edge of the wood so that the blade doesn't go any deeper than the width of this wood. We have marked the blade with painter's tape so that it doesn't go any deeper than that. It still can go that deep if I push it, but if I stop when it gets to that point, I shouldn't hit any glass. Am I nervous? Yes, I am nervous. This is the hardest part. I can't remove the wood without messing up the glass it's screwed into, so I have to risk cutting the wood while it's still attached without breaking the glass. The wood starts smoking because the blade heats it up, so we just have to take our time. So yeah, this is gonna take a while. I don't even think I need this for the first cut because it's not gonna go that deep. But we do have to stop as soon as it starts smoking because obviously I don't want to start a fire. It's a difficult angle to get at. We might need a new blade. Oh, we're getting there. We've got like a pretty clean first plunge, and then we'll get through the next layer. The next layer is the hardest one to get through. It's actually taking like a lot longer than I thought it would. she's just barely scratching the surface of it, but we are making progress. So this might be like a long project. So I'm not gonna record the whole thing. But you can see like the darkness is from where the wood is actually burning. And honestly, like the heat is actually helping it cut a little bit more. So I'm letting it smoke a little bit and then removing the blade and giving it a minute to cool off. I have a little can of river water just in case I need to pour it on there real quick. Let's keep going. Okay, we're at the part where we need to use this now because I have gone through a few times. Don't worry, I hit the license plate. I just wanted to show you guys what that sounds like. And that's what it sounds like when you hit the metal. Now this is a bimetal blade, so it can cut through metal. So the second you hear it scrape on it, you want to take it off immediately. I'm really glad I have this license plate though. This seems to be working perfectly. Look at that, we're almost off. Exciting. See where it cut the C? There's a little scratch there on the C. But it is protecting the glass, and that's all we need it for. It's hard to do with my left hand though. Maybe if I get my stool. I've got my stool. Of course, in the middle of filming, my battery pack died. I just about got this thing off. We're just gonna pull it off now. There we go. Clean cut. All the way around, and now Sparrow has a place to view out the window a little bit better because he was reaching before. He was trying to put his chin up over it. We're gonna do the painting. I've got some painter's tape, and then we're gonna do the Eternabond over the painting when the painting is dry. I've got some newspaper here. I'm just gonna painter's tape off the glass and then start painting. I'm actually not sure I have enough newspaper. I did not think this thoroughly through. We might have to do it in chunks, but we'll make it work. You see this right here? This is part of where it was backed into. And this is just duct tape, but it's holding strong. I think I'm actually gonna cover this duct tape with the Eternabond because at least then it's white and it doesn't show up so bad, right? Right. Hey, listen, we do it scrappy here, okay? Now listen, I found some paper lunch bags in my garage. I'm gonna use those because I don't have any more newspaper. So we're just gonna open them up. And we have a whole bag of them, so we'll do this. It'll be fine. We gotta do what works, man. I'm just glad I have painter's tape. The van's not clean, white and dirty, and I'm not gonna clean it because I'm feeling a little lazy right now. This is already a big enough project. I don't need more work. She's all taped off, and I just realized that I left the paint in the van. And I can't get in the door now. I'll just get in the front seat. Oops. And of course, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the front seat. At least I get a chance to drink some coffee while I'm in here. Okay. We got the Fusion all-in-one matte white. Then we have this gloss clear to go over it so it kind of matches the van. Cheers. We are using Krylon Fusion all-in-one matte white paint and primer. This is what I looked up for the best stuff that will adhere to wood. This is what I'm gonna do for the clear coat. And this is just like the Walmart clearance special. Really, guys, I'm not too concerned about it. Gotta shake it for a minute first. How do I get this off? I'm kind of second guessing this right now. Like a piece of plexiglass probably would have been better, but do you know how hard it is to get a piece of plexiglass that big? I actually have a piece of, it's like aluminum. I can't remember the word for it right now. It's got the little marks on it, so it looks like it's, you know, like truck steel or whatever. I wanted to do that on the bottom and then plexiglass on top. But to find a piece of plexiglass that you can get laser cut perfectly for this door is so expensive. It was like in the hundreds of dollars. It was ridiculous. Even if I could afford it, it's so impossible to find someone who can do laser cutting and a piece of plexiglass that big. We'll see, maybe I can find some kind of composite or something. I originally wanted to put like an aluminum poly composite, but I couldn't find a piece big enough. Well, I'm almost out of paint and she's looking a little crusty. We're gonna have to get another can before I can clear coat this for sure. Yeah, we're done. I don't know, did I just ruin my door? You guys tell me. It looked bad anyway because it was wood. I think if anything, this polishes it up a little bit, but I definitely think I need to do another coat. So we're gonna let this dry. The next time we go into town, we'll get another can of this, and then we'll clear coat it after that. All right, here's the final look, and I'll give you guys a before and after in a moment. But I mean, far away it doesn't look so bad, but up close it's kind of trashy looking. Another coat and we'll be all right. Hey, listen, it's not wood. I mean, it's still wood, but now it's white. I don't know, I think it looks classier. I think it looks a lot better. I have to take that little beware of dogs sticker off. Otherwise the whole thing is purposeless, but that's easy. I have a razor blade for that. Once there's another coat on that, I think it'll look a lot better. And here's the before and the after. I think it looks a lot better. One more coat of paint, but this is definitely the point where it really hit me, that this is what people mean when they say appearances matter. Here's the thing nobody tells you about van life. Sometimes it's not enough to just follow the rules, you also have to look like you follow the rules. I hate that it's like this. I hate that a simple piece of plywood can be the difference between a peaceful night and police harassment. But fixing this wasn't just about appeasing them, it was about taking pride in my space. And now my door looks clean, solid, and intentional. No more giving people reasons to judge me. I still need to add one more coat and a clear gloss, but this already feels like a fresh start. If you're living on the road or thinking about it, this is your reminder. Sometimes the smallest projects makes the biggest difference. Drop a comment if you've ever felt judged for your setup, or tell me your biggest janky fix that ended up saving your ass. And if you want real raw van life stories and a side of this lifestyle that most people don't show you, make sure you're subscribed. There's a lot more coming. Are you gonna brighten up? They call it, but the irony, focus on my face, camera. Why is it upside down? Oh, focus. Oh my God, it's just gonna put me in the dark. Oh, okay.